Gosh, that doesn't sound hopeful at all. If they don't mess up, my goodness. But yeah, you know, the Hellbear Smashers, they're bringing out stuff that they feel comfortable on. And the interesting thing I was thinking, Purge, is the fact that they have a lot of heroes that like the fight being brought to them, right? You've got a Venomancer who can sit in the lane. You've got a Medusa who also just kind of wants to, you know, just stay there and just shoot at things around her. Is this going to pay off for them, though?
It can. If you're forcing objectives and your opponents are forced to deal or respond to you, then it can work absolutely, especially with Abaddon backing those heroes up. It's absolutely can be a huge deal and make it harder for Liquid to engage them. But with that said, they still have pretty strong laning heroes. Taiga has consistently in every game he's played Enchantress won his lane and dominated the mid game in an effective way. And they've also, it's kind of like similar features on the Liquid side as well. Warlock is better at being defensive. Enchantress will be the person in the front line that's going to make it difficult for Hellbear Smashers to initiate. So I think I like the fact that Liquid has better capabilities to get solo kills across the map or gank better, with the exception of reacting to either Venomancer or Dusa being tank front line. It just should be easier for Liquid, I guess.
Well, we will have to see, because historically, you know, Hellbear Smashers, they like to take it to game 3. They enjoy, you know, trying to take that game number 2 and evening out the odds. But definitely a bit scary from what Liquid have coming out here with the draft. But again, like we said, a lot of these kind of bread and butter picks, you know, we've seen plenty of Tofu on that Abaddon. He'll be able to go and just try to keep people alive, tank up a lot of that damage too. So it'll be interesting. I'm excited to see who's going to be making the first moves.
Oh, both players messing up their blocks. Sumail easy breezy himself, messed up his block at the tier 2, and then Stormstormer let one through as well. So everybody sucks in the mid lane.
I was gonna say something nice, Purge. I was gonna be like, one person. What is happening? When are you the positive one in this duo? What happened to you over there? I'm gonna just blame it on the fact that you're lonely because you're not hanging out with us over here in Sweden.
So far, completely fair in our similar last hits in the mid lane, so it'll be okay. No major thing happening.
Such a Purge way of being positive. It'll be okay. It's fine. Sorry. Continue.
They both make mistakes, and it's really hard to point out major errors for sure. Venomancer, very strong laning hero, classically against Void, so that last pick is generally going to be seen as great for Rasmus here. In the safe lane, decent harassment potential against Slardar, and Tofu should be able to offset a lot of the major damage coming from Slardar, but Medusa is a really slow hero, so she's got to be a little bit careful if Taiga is able to get it picked up. You have a sentry coming, he does. 2 sentries on the way. So he should be able to use those to regain control of the large camp, and then with the large camp, probably bully Abaddon and the Medusa.
This lane feels like it is going to be a bit of a struggle here for the Smashers. You can see Tofu best that he can, but obviously it has to be careful in his positioning, especially as you get more levels online for the Enchantress and the Slardar.
And for now, great damage so far by Taiga. Still got a salve. Here comes his more extra. Actually doesn't have any more regen past his salve, so be a little bit weak after this, but he will be able to deward the camp now. So maybe large creep at 3 minutes, we'll see.
Top lane, Rasmus doing the best that he can. Do get the water rune snapped up here by Stormstorm. A little sidestep there, making sure that doesn't immediately get cancelled. And Sumail should be able to bag himself the one on the top rune spot. I think a pretty even matchup though right now. You know, 14-0, 12-1. No one's really running away with the game yet.
I would say that Windranger is a slightly more proven mid-hero right now. Most of the co-op games we've seen have felt a little bit inadequate. But that said, she just got little buffs to Scream of Pain. The mana cost at later stages is not as bad. It's basically the same early, but it has a better AoE and a little bit less mana, so she should be able to accelerate farm. In fact, Stormstormer just didn't get Shadow Strike at all. And that's pretty fair, because realistically, she's not going to be able to kill Windranger, because you have to use Dagger and a lot of right clicks to kill people. So if Sumail could just use Windrun and run away in dangerous moments, it's just not worth trying to out-harass. So he'll just go for farming instead. Maybe that'll make it feel better.
Bottom lane, Koifa collecting the first blood. You can see Tofu knew he was dying there, made sure that he got off one of those miscoils right off the end. That way he can just be as efficient as possible and keep Medusa's health topped up. But again, it's like difficult lane.
People, you're like, well, if I could still suicide, I would have suicided there, you know?
That's definitely possible.
It's like rotting on Pudge right before you're about to die for sure. Same thing. Faces Void struggling a little bit here, but he's getting a lot of heals from Warlocks. That's definitely offsetting his this normally very difficult lane.
I mean, I feel like we see this a lot coming out from Insania in particular. He's usually on a hero that's able to either, you know, replenish health or replenish mana, right? Because we had that whole stint where Keeper of the Light was very, very strong. So he's playing a lot of that. Otherwise, you know, you see him on the Oracle, you see him on the Warlock, things that are going to help his core stay in lane and, you know, provide that sustenance.
Yeah, it's really important. Lane stabilizers, absolutely.
Radiant's middle tower
Insania gets
is
the
under
side pull
attack.
off, didn't get a stack off,
Dire
but see it blocked earlier. The
structures
sentry
are
work, but still very good for lane control here. Mickey hits level 4, still struggling on regen a little bit. Insania's about to hit 3. This is going to give a much better heal towards Mickey. An extra 120 HP every time.
They're quite forward here over here on Smashes. Look at this, immediately backing up the centaur though, just running over. We'll put out a little bit of damage here. But that's scary.
I mean, if he uses Enchant offensively, they can just dispel it with Aphotic Shield, so like they are definitely forced to back up right now while counter pushes the lane and gets full last hits, but you know, the center will go away, and then he's gonna have to go grab another one if he wants to keep being aggressive. There's a Satyr Tormentor he can grab though, over by his Ancients, so pressure continues.
I'm just thinking in terms of, you know, if they're able to stun lock up Tofu there, that could be potentially a problem because he can't shield himself if he is the one who is indeed stunned up, so. I don't think the play yet, I don't think, is going after Ace.
Probably not. Mid lane's still really even here. Stormstormer getting more mana due to having blink capabilities. Rasmus gets low.
He's taken down thanks to these fatal bonds. They're just kind of, it's like a little bit of a flirtation here on this top line. You see Rasmus, you know, dishing out a bunch of damage, Mickey just backtracking, or, you know, having Insania heal him back up, and then they go back in for another play, but then Gilgir can't, you know, it just back and forth here. We haven't seen any hard committals, it feels, for sure.
Yeah, I would not want to play this lane in the slightest if I was Faces Void, if I didn't have Warlock. It's doable here, but without Warlock, it would just be awful.
Oh no, the Hellbear Smasher! He's turned on his family. He's a traitor. That's fine though.
It'll die now. Just a little bit of, just did a little clapping. And now it's gonna run away. Camp is, and he's got another one. He's been able to keep the large camp unblocked here on Taiga's side and blocking the small camp of the sentry as well. So
Radiant structures are
a little bit more experience, gives Quake but tons of deny. He's got 12 already here. And that's going to put Medusa a little bit behind where they would want to be. And there aren't really any stacks made yet either. Here comes Stormstorm rotation though, top.
Might be able to use a Sonic Wave and they take down Mickey. Easy peasy. There's not any way that Insania can save him from that this time around.
Yeah, and that wouldn't happen if he was full HP, honestly. Like, keeping his HP at around, what, 80%, it was enough with the Rolling Boulder and the Smash and the ulti. So, still no dagger points, but they just got the tower. That is a huge play by Hellbear Smashers, actually. They actually kept the Void down a little bit.
Bottom lane, the bashes are real. Oh, that power shot not connecting, but it still is quite fun. We'll get the kill on Tofu, and Taiga will get Ace's curry, and they're still making plays down here. They want this kill. Gilgir has made his way down, though, but there's too much damage coming out from Sumail. So they'll get that kill. Looks like Moifa probably going to pay for this, as Stormstormer is also here.
For Liquid, getting 2 kills for the one. They're not going to take the tower, unfortunately, but Sumail got some experience, got some good power shots in. Not the worst. Insania picking up some levels on the mid lane. Now that the safe lane has been, now that the tower's dead, there's no reason for Insania to try to play top anymore. It's just way too dangerous because the rundown distance is so far. There's no safety from a tower. He basically has to TP every time. So just pick up levels on the mid lane to try to get 6 faster, but losing that safe lane tower is going to make things tough. Mickey's not going to be able to get as many creep kills. Venomancer's can be able to control the jungle very well. He picked up a fast Tranquil Boots to basically offset any regen needs he has, and he's going to go for a Veil afterwards. A great way to amplify Venomancer's damage and his teammates as well. Very good with Queen and Ping, and Magnetize from Spirit as well, so this fast Veil will be really useful.
You can see that they're just kind of struggling here to push Rasmus out of this lane. And again, this is a hero that he really enjoys playing, knows the ins and outs very, very well. So it will be difficult here unless they have a large rotation to get rid of this pesky Hydralisk.
Smoke under a ward by Queen of Pain and Earth Spirit. They definitely saw that one, so we'll see how they react. Stormstormer's almost got Blink maxed out. He still hasn't gotten Shadow Strike yet. Kind of an interesting build, but absolutely can work here. And looks like Insania is going to be the one that tanks it here. Gets spotted by the Plague Ward. He's only a level 4 hero, though.
Dire's middle tower.
Oh, they go right past him. though, should be happy with this. Let's be careful they don't line up too hard here as Insania taking down. They're going for the Chronosphere. They take down Insania, but Sumail is here, and they're just bursting down this Queen of Pain plus the Shackle power shot coming out. Down will go Stormstormer. Now Mickey chasing after Gilgear is just going to push them away from his jungle.
That's the power of seeing the smoke. They absolutely knew there was a rotation coming. They moved Insania towards the tower. Sumail TP'd at the perfect time. Mickey was in perfect position, so getting the Stormstormer kill absolutely.
Top lane, they're still hunting. They want to get rid of Rasmus. Mickey has had enough of this bullying. The Veil will go out. A couple of these bashes, though. Mickey needs a little bit of help here. I think he's going to be all right. He's going to be very close here, but no, he's got that heal on him. He's got the backtrack. He is fine. As Taiga here in the bottom lane, he's just poking at Tofu. Does have to be careful because there is Stormstormer making his own rotation. Off for Wolf, just nibbling over here, but you can see that Stormstormer's here. Taiga playing very carefully here, decides, all right. Oh, maybe they go back in though. There's Koifa. No Blink Dagger just yet. Double fluffy hat on the Enchantress.
A little surprised Rasmus didn't get 2 points in Venomous Scale because it was a huge damage increase. With that said, Poison Sting is amazing against Face's Void, so maybe that's part of the reason, but I wonder if he would have died maybe if he had more Gale, or if he had his ulti and enough mana, it would have gone to kill sword. Either way, it's fine. Still making space. They push out the lane, so Mickey is going to jungle now. He's got a Possess Mask as well, a great item to accelerate his jungling. And the network is still even, so everything's pretty fine for Liquid despite the early tower death.
Look at Koifa. He knows that Tofu has just been sticking around here. He was hunting, but he will teleport out. Doesn't want anything to do with Koifa. Doesn't want to help accelerate his Blink Dagger. And Taiga's just taking over the woods here. They've got a lot of map presence right now coming out from the side of Liquid.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. They've got Infernal Golem as well, so if Insania keeps playing here around Face's Void, he can help offset any potential deaths here. Break smokes, they're going to kill the Sentry Ward for free to protect their ward. Rasmus is still a little hesitant to invade. He's got the Veil, so he has lots of damage, but his survivability is not super high. There's another Sentry, they'll probably get the ward here now.
I mean, they spot Mickey over here. Gonna try to take some of these last hits, try to bully Mickey a little bit too. They are managing to do it. They have Gilgear nearby if they wanted to try to hard commit, but I think going down to the low ground, it's a little bit too scary for them. They're very close to the tower. Doesn't look like they're going to quite chance it. But Rasmus will be as obnoxious as possible with his Venomancer and try to bully him out of the jungle, which he does succeed in doing.
Succeeding, yeah, that part is going really good for him. Lost the catapult top for Stormstormer, unfortunately, but Orchid's getting a little closer, forcing Void to cross the map a little bit has been helpful. Hellbear Smashers are effectively warded into the jungle as well, so you know that they can control this now. This is pretty good for Veno, but on the same vein, the same thing's happening on the other side of the map. Liquid's finally invading the enemy side of the map. Sumail has Maelstrom finished. He could dive this. A little dangerous.
There's a lot of people nearby. Taiga, all right, Koifa's here. The blink is then revealed as they get the jump over here onto Tofu. He's not level 6 just yet. They go and they drop the rock. They'll chase them right away here. Tofu's ticking down to these bombs that were on the back lines. They're just gonna push them away with the Magnetize, but that is, of course, the chaotic offering that just got dropped, and they didn't manage.
They got one kill. They power shot came through. They got ran to safety, but completely bad for them, and they're still farming on Mickey, which is still good for them. His net worth is a little bit lower, but not out of the realm of possibilities. Kind of curious to see what Sumail does item-wise. Maelstrom is the standard Windranger build. I really like the Mjolnir build right now as an item to transition to. MKB does atrocious damage per hit compared to what it used to do. It used to do like 75 magic damage per hit. Now it does like 44 or something.
Koifa just showing up and is going to get deleted here by Sumail. A nice jump there coming out from Koifa.
And that Blink Dagger changes everything now. Because now Rasmus, who doesn't have very many survivability items, can't defend himself if he gets gone on like that.
Scary. There's the Chronosphere catching over onto 2. The Savannah is not going to be able to keep Ace alive as they're following up. Koifa gets a nice bash off. We'll follow up with the crash the line up here with the trees. We'll have that borrowed time proc over here, and Liquid will take the middle tower.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Didn't actually have Stone Gaze yet, but Chronosphere guarantees to kill either way. Not too uncommon to delay it. But the tower finally falls, and now Liquid has the map control, and they have a Slardar, so good luck, Hellbears. You guys gotta fight into this. The Sumail's positioned really well. Let's get Gale. He's in a little bit of trouble here. You don't have a heal. Go force him out.
The Orchid now is completed for the Queen of Pain, so that is going to allow Stormstormer to make a couple more plays around the map. But the way that Liquid has been playing has been very tight, very grouped together, and it feels like whenever one of them is roaming, or rather whenever Koifa is roaming, let's put it that way, there's usually a +1 nearby. Oh. Okay, there it is. There's the Orchid. There's the Sonic Wave. Is it going to be enough though to take this man? He's taking him down. Yes, they'll be able to find that kill. Gilgir still hunting. Chase after Insania here. We'll roll backwards, but focusing over here onto this tower. Tofu's just going to heal up Stormstormer, and they're going to continue to put down pressure. Koifa standing nearby though. Just have to be careful. This is very obnoxious to play into when you're a Slardar with a Blink, is that every time you're just going to get hit with some of these disgusting little Hydralisk wards. Plague wards.
Not bad. Hellbear Smashers fighting back really effectively. They get that, they force them out of Roshan. The Orchid is going to be really useful against all these cores. Basically, the one that's a little survivable is Slardar. But Void and Windranger are very vulnerable to not being able to cast spells, and that's why both of them, or at least Windranger is going for a fast BKB after Maelstrom. This is also extremely standard. You need to get this because too many disables counter Windranger, but once you get BKB, then it allows you to keep playing the game. But that was a huge kill. Who got the gold? Stormstormer did, so going to catapult him even closer to his next item. See what he goes next. Sanj Yasha would be pretty, or sorry, Sanj Kaya would be pretty good on Queen of Pain, maybe. He's gonna go
dear. Ace getting spotted out here. Does have the Stone Gaze, though, so we'll be able to pop it. Taiga and Koifa, and we talked about this. This is the hit squad. Koifa +1. He's got the Blink Dagger online. Look how tanky this Enchantress is, too, with the two fluffy hats, medallion and whatnot. My goodness.
The medallion, too, really effective. 5 more minus armor. That's basically half of Slardar ulti, so Goose has got to be careful. When her mana gets drained, minus armor is really dangerous.
Like they want to make a play, and they find themselves Gilgir. They'll be able to go shackle him up momentarily. They need to block off. Oh, they don't even need to. Never mind. Koifa finishes off Gilgir. Says, get out of my jungle.
Really nice catch there. They'll retake their jungle, get some V-warding down here. Insania is so happy about 50 gold for sentries at this exact moment. Scary.
Yeah, I was confused about that. Like, they both just kind of sat there for a minute in terms of like, wait a minute, I gotta finish up this creep. Wait, and then Koifa's like, what am I doing? Jumps forward, but she's already blinks away.
I think they were both looking on the minimap directly, rather than on
They're
the
both
screen at that
shopping,
moment.
you know? Like, what am I gonna get next? Huh. A little surprised though that we didn't see the instant jump there. Perhaps they were waiting also for, you know, some more backup. Who knows?
They got taken the top lane because he's a little bit more survivable right now, but quite still fishing for kills.
Dire's courier has been killed.
Those Plague Wards, man, they are obnoxious. As Rasmus, again, he is leading the charge into this jungle, and he's just being a thorn in their side as they jump forward over here. They go and they drop the Chaos Offer. They're going to try to re-engage. Sonic Wave comes out though. Koifa's already dead. Now Insania running for his life, but Taiga joining into the fight here. Mid-game looking for the opportunity. He just can't seem to find his Insania over on the side. He is going to go down. Taiga just chipping away over on the other lines of Koifa, finding Stormstormer, gets a nice bash up. They need more, and they'll be able to have the lockdown with the Dreamleague coming in hot with that power shot. And now Ace, he's already used the Stone Gaze. Sumail is hot on his heels. He wants this. He's hoping he can line up the shackle. We'll be able to go and land it over here on the Misery. Tofu coming in with those Aphotic Shield, buys a little bit more time. Taiga having to be careful, did get hit with that Veil. They need to just clear out all of these Plague Wards from their jungle.
It's really hard to deal with these right now because they're just preventing Koifa from reinitiating. Him getting Galed as well, making a huge difference, but surprising that they were able to kill Quap. It was very, very close. The Chronosphere jump was just on the edge, right as his blink was coming through. Great pickup with the Nether Shawl as well. Excellent on most agility carries because you have tons of armor, and getting just all this, like a free hood, better than a hood, is amazing against magic nukes like Quap and Venos. So this is the perfect item for Mickey here.
I don't think it's ever a bad game to find a shawl. There's always someone on your team that can use it. Just...
Yeah, it's my favorite neutral item for sure. I love getting in a lot of games.
Roll forward, trying to grab Taiga to get the silence off Insania, trying to keep him alive with the Shadow Word. Another roll forward here from Gilgear with the kickback. Sumail, he wants this though, is going to be able to go and shackle Gilgear over here to the tree. He's going to burn him down very quickly, and they still haven't managed to kill Taiga with all of this healing. Over on the side though, Koifa is getting kited. Rasmus though, is going to try to get protected here by Tofu. Still kiting, still looking for this opportunity. Sumail though clicking away, trying to get some more of this damage off. Will be able to go pop the shield again. Another one being tossed out immediately. Nice power shot coming through as Ace is wandering back in.
A fun game. They're spending so much time near each other, but it's like kind of difficult to fully commit to a fight. But they can cover each other, so it's a little bit. It's not quite as bursty as most of the games we watch, but it makes for some interesting play. A lot of cool decisions. BKB's been ready for Sumail that whole fight, by the way. He's just holding it. He knows he doesn't quite need it yet. If he gets gone on in a bad position, he's going to pop it. But for now, it's just going to guarantee that he gets to continue playing the solo killer for the rest of the game. And if you don't play Windranger like that,
Radiant's
and you
middle
don't get to a position
tower is under
where you
attack.
continue getting kills, you're going to struggle on this hero a little bit.
Dire's
But he's
top
going the perfect
tower
build, and he's
is
queuing
under
up bags
attack.
afterwards.
I do like how Taiga is now set into the role of cleaning out the jungle. He's basically the janitor over here for Team
Dire's
Liquid,
top
trying to
tower
get rid
is
of
under
all of
attack.
these pesky plague wards, because
Dire's
Rasmus has been an
structures are
absolute thorn
fortified.
in their side. He's definitely playing this hero very nicely. And bringing a lot of attention over to
Radiant's
him
middle
and
tower
allowing
is
Ace to
under
get that
attack.
farm up, because he is sitting pretty nicely there. Not quite as high as Sumail, right? 9.9k on Sumail, but Ace sitting at 9.5. So
I'm just a little unsure how Medusa is going to do against a hero like Windranger. Like, I feel like Windranger is just going to beat her as the game continues if their network stays the same. Because no matter what, like, Windranger has incredible single target damage because of Focus Fire. And Medusa, yeah, she does a lot of AoE damage, but she doesn't do well against a Windranger, period. Like, you just use Windrun and you run away. It's that simple. So I just feel like if they keep this net worth distribution and we fast forward 20 minutes of the game, I just feel like Liquid's going to have the advantage.
definitely a problem that they don't have a whole heck of a lot of catch coming out from the side of Hellbear Smashers. They have plenty of slow, obviously, when you take into account that they have this. Oh, they jump forward immediately. Roll forward here, over onto Taiga. Side of it's just not enough to kill him right off the bat, although eventually Stormstormer will collect the kill.
That wouldn't hurt too much. Maybe a mistake for Taiga not to go with it this game. I feel like some magic resistance there would keep him alive, but it's still a lot of magic burst, so. And they have a Veil too. Like, magic resistance would be pretty solid this game. A little surprised he didn't go for it, but maybe wanted to go this Hurricane Pike instead, not the Hurricane Pike, the Dragon Lance, just to deal with the wards better. It's not a terrible idea, but maybe in that they lost that tower right there because he got
Radiant's
off, so.
bottom tower is under attack.
Here they go, blink in, silence, there's the dagger, the ultimate, the full follow-up, just a ton of magic, damn it. Pushing him away from the tower to lower his chances of living. He was a little close to living, it was pretty cool. I feel like if he had a cloak, he might have lived. If he had a hood, he definitely would have lived there. Would have taken a fight.
That or just the fact that, you know, he was silenced. If he got the sprites off, perhaps he could have survived for it. No, lots of coulda, shoulda, woulda. But over here on the side, Gilgear, he gets spotted out, and he is going to be a sacrifice to Sumail.
Good shot, right?
Radiant's
And
bottom
they're in the
tower
Roche
is
pit,
under
though.
attack.
It's taking quite a while, though. I'm not sure. And look at the scan. They know. They're on their way. Tofu has to be a bit careful. He's been trying to tank it up. Looks like they'll trade over here on Ace. Are they going to contest, though, is the question. They're going to get there fast enough?
They got the tier 2 bottom, which is okay. Like, oh, they're moving in now.
I don't know. I'm not sure about this Taiga. He's got the sprites up immediately. He's going to just wander into the pit. He's going to get Yule's up. So Ace will be able to get the Aegis, but the follow-up is immediate now. Sumail looking for that last. Not going to be able to quite find as the Stone Gate gets up from Ace. Doesn't want to have to deal with this, especially now that Stormstormer has just picked up a fresh BKB. So he's going to be able to create more chaos in these fights.
That is going to help for sure. So Liquid does get some map control. They didn't take the shrine before they crossed the map, but they regained theirs. I think they're, like, it's not great for their opponents to have an Aegis, obviously, but I think this is not that bad considering. I don't really see them picking up a Medusa and a gank, generally. But this does give the Hellbear Smashers the ability to maybe force some like tier 2s or something like that. So, but I don't really see the Aegis as like a huge worry to Team Liquid because they have such strong team fight. They've got Golem, they've got Chronosphere. They can shackle 2 people pretty much every time after a Chrono is completed. So you're looking at a really fast stun here, and if Smashers are not careful, they're going to get team fight wiped here regardless of the Aegis.
I was gonna ask if this would be more of a farming Aegis for Ace, just to, you know, buy him a little bit more time and insurance policy sort of thing. So I didn't think that Smashers were going to be super aggressive, but you do see them invading, and there is a courier over here. It's gonna be immediately ripped down by Stormstormer. Doesn't have anything on it, but
yeah, you already got delivered. Be fine. Farming, yes, basically. That's how I see it right now, for sure. It allows them to be a little bit aggressive in their positioning, but unless they get a pick off, I don't really see them taking a tower. Rasmus is doing the right thing. He's cutting the bot creep wave that they caught mid and bot. It becomes very difficult for their opponents to push, but that's going to rotate Sumail to his mid lane, mid lane as well. He's almost for sure going to cut the next creep wave, and they just don't want to engage right now because it's a little dangerous. And in the same vein, Mickey is pressuring bottom, knowing that he's relatively difficult to kill. They don't have solutions now. He has Manta.
And, well, he's got the axe completed here for Ace. Let's go, they'll throw down the upheaval, try to slow them down just a little bit. The Sonic Wave, ooh, not close enough.
The zero times combo, Moxie. You don't need an Arcana for that one.
No, you don't. That's an oof, for sure. They are rotating back bottom now. They want to deal with Mickey. I don't believe they have vision. The roll forward. Oh, they have the Yules, though. They can set up the silence as well. They've got the Veil. This is the kind of damage that we were talking about, although they don't manage to quite land that Poison Nova over here. Does have the Magnetize, though, on Mickey, and he's just trying to run away from the Gale. He's got that Poison Sting on him, and it's just so slow. But where's your lockdown here? Where's your lockdown, Smashers?
That was insane patience from Mickey. I would have meant it off that, like the First Spirit Silence or the Gale or something, but he was just terrified that Quaff was going to show up at any time and orc him immediately afterwards, and then he would die. But he just was patient the whole time. He knew he was relatively safe. They basically get a lot out of that movement for Liquid. They accomplished everything they wanted. They sniped a courier, they cut the mid wave, they cut the bot wave, and eventually Hellbear Smashers had to back up. They didn't get the tier 2 tower. They didn't use really big cooldowns, and Aegis is a little bit closer to going away now. So great movements there by Liquid. They've almost got Eggs on Windranger, which is going to give them a lot of evasion. 30% base it gives now. It doesn't get as much movement speed as before, but still will be. So here's the roll in, the gank on Enchantress. Look how quick he is with that healing ward on him. Upheaval helps a lot too.
Oh, there it is.
That was really close. That was actually really close. It wouldn't have killed him. It was still a poor use.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Easy breezy.
Sounded like the slow on Quaff's ulti sounded like the old like AT&T like
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
right? Didn't it?
Like phone jingle.
Yeah. I wonder if that had anything to
Texting
do
was
with
like really fancy. You're like, oh, you gotta pay 10 cents every time you send a text.
Radiant's
Now I'm talking
top
even
tower is
older
under
than that,
attack.
dude. I'm talking the before texting. Not going all the way back to rotary phones, but definitely sounded very strange there as Mickey putting some pressure here on this top tower. And everyone's really kind of spread out. You can see the Smashers are focusing over on the tier 2 in the bottom area.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Trying to just get something done here. They're still working on the tier 1. For the cheap price of
Dire
322, we can roll.
structures are fortified.
I don't have that kind of money. This game is going so good for Liquid right now. Mickey just takes a tier 2 tower on pressure. They're doing such a good job. And Quake is playing in the area. That way, if anybody comes back to counter push this, they can get a kill. He sits here,
TP.
and yeah, Smashers take a tier 1,
Radiant's
but
top
alright, it's going to be
tower is
Gilder.
under
Let's
attack.
see if he gets...
He takes the bait.
Top's coming too.
Oh, the roll forward immediately. Eventually, yeah, there it is. Koifa jumping right on in. They do have the size, but he's got the Manta like we talked about. He's going to be able to backtrack away. There's hunting over here on the side, but oh, Koifa pops the BKB, just takes down Gilgear. Over on the bottom lane, Tofu has been left behind. He does indeed pop the Taiga. This is kind of all over the place here. I think we've yet to see like one really big team fight, Urge.
It's difficult for Hellbears to force Liquid to fight, and Liquid is just way ahead of time, anticipating what's going to happen. So that's why, like, when they get at buildings, Mickey's like already threatening tier 3s. They're just reading the map and reading what Hellbears are doing, and it's difficult for Hellbears to stop it because of the nature of their heroes. Abaddon does not contribute to ganks at all. He's a counter initiator support. First Spirit is great at initiating, as is Quap, but that's it. Venomancer is just okay. Gale is very counterable here. And having Time Walk to be able to jump away for it already just does enough.
It's concerned that they don't have this lockdown as Koifa immediately the size comes out from Storm Tower, but the shackle and latches off to the side. Sumail just going to rip him apart as Koifa will be the one who gets the kill.
That was cool. Nice play by Koifa to basically keep his hero in that position. I didn't see exactly how it started, but he knew his BKB was gone. Oh,
I think
it's an Eggs. That's an X on Medusa.
Yeah, he's had that.
Stuns.
He has had that
Radiant's
for a
middle
bit
tower
here.
is under
It's
attack.
okay.
We talked about that way earlier.
Roll on in here, but they have to be careful. Mickey is here. They put a decent amount of damage. They do have the BKB, so Gilgear will fall. They have to be careful again. They've got Insania nearby. He does have the chaotic offering. You've got many things if they want to go back in. That Shadow Word Shard also helping
Radiant's
quite a bit here, but
tower is under attack.
I don't know. How do you approach this fight right now if you're Hellbear Smashers? Because, you know, you've got heroes that want to stand their ground, that want you to come to them. And look at this, Rasmus here. He's trying. He's being as pesky as he can, but it just doesn't feel quite as effective as it used to be. As Sumail, when running over, looking for the jackal, manages to land it. They get the Aponic Shield up, but look at this damage coming out. It's just not looking like Rasmus is going to be able to survive this as the power shot comes through, and down goes the Venomancer.
Sumail does basically an infinite amount of damage with Focus Fire. It's just way too much to keep him alive, and they just don't have good enough AoE stuns to offset it. Yeah, the Venomancer did pretty good in the lane, but not quite good enough. And yeah, Deuce is gonna make up for some of these stun deficiencies with the Ags build, but the game's feeling really hard for Hellbear. It just feels like Liquid is not really punishable.
I'm also concerned because look at the vision that Liquid has up and around the map too. It's just so hard for the Smashers to get out of their base and to farm or do anything because they, you know, look at this. We're even seeing now that Gilgear says, we got to get rid of these wards. We're going to get ourselves, you know, a gem, try to make some space again. But the threat coming out from Liquid is just so scary.
Oh, and a Mindbreaker drop. Perfect Windranger item. It's basically like it's better than a Javelin. It's insanely valuable for his single target damage. I wouldn't be really surprised if he doesn't use that.
They see Gilgear, they can see Ace walking on by. And immediately, the follow-up here from Sumail. It's a quick pick-off there with the power shots. That is just a gem that is down on the ground as the chase is on. They're going to back off from Ace here. Look at how fast this Medusa is just jogging home. Doesn't want anything to do with this, but Sumail is looking for that latch here. Wants to get the shackle off. Won't be able to go and find Rasmus. Is more than happy with this as they just burst him down. Unstoppable. And, oh, okay, Mickey is just, you know, playing around with Ace. A polite hello, goodbye. We're coming for your buildings.
Giving him the taunt. This is basically effective for him to have chart here because the Chronosphere, like, they have so much room to play with. He can just, like, say, like, am I chronoing now or is it going to be later? And it's just going to force Smashers to have to play so much more defensive. Like, genuinely doing moves like that and just making your opponents feel uncomfortable is huge in pro games because it just makes them feel like they can't leave each other because at any moment that chrono could be real. And there's like no punish either for him doing that because their disables are weak.
Regeneration.
Almost have a completed Desolator now for Sumail. So already gotten a nice present in the form of a gem, and he's just got a lot of control this game. Just the way that Liquid is playing together with the lockdown that they have, it's too scary for Smashers here. Oh my gosh, Gilgear just trying to do, you know, a little bit of something here. I was looking for the power shot. We'll sidestep it nicely. Stormer was providing some support there, saying, you can do it, buddy, you can sidestep it, but otherwise can't do much of anything else.
His damage is just a little bit low. Hadn't picked up the Mindbreaker yet, but still looking pretty good for Liquid across the map. Their wards are great. Mega gets to play up aggressive. Basically, all of their heroes just feel unkillable at this point. And you have to worry about Slaughter jumping out of nowhere and killing you. In the meantime, he's been farming, picking up an Ags here. Haven't seen one of these in a while, but still a great item.
There's puddles everywhere.
Regen, armor, and status resistance if he goes in. Very effective for initiating.
All right, Perch, how many Plague Wards do you think have been weeded out by Liquid?
I'm gonna say 40. That's my guess.
I'm gonna go with
41.
48. 42? Oh, man. Oh, no, Rasmus, the pot in the middle of the puddle. He is just obliterated here as they go, and they find themselves a Gilgear over here on the side. Stonegate does get used. See, Mickey is going to take a little bit of time off here on the side, and he's looking for the Chronosphere. He just goes in immediately, finds himself this Medusa. The rest of the team is here. They've got plenty of damage, but they do get the Sonic Wave off, so they'll bounce them up, but again, they follow up with that Chaos offering, and she's tanky, but she's not tanky enough, Purge, because down goes Medusa. And the hunt is on. They're chasing after Rasmus. They'll be able to find the Venomancer. Tofu now running for his life, but Mickey's has come back here. He still wants this as he just chases after him. He's looking to get these bashes up. He's like, okay, you know, maybe I'll back off. Feels like Koifa doesn't want to, though, and no, he does not. As he chases Tofu all the way into the base, the Bash brothers are real, and Sumail will clean up over on Stormer. Easy breezy.
Yeah, it's got the Mindbreaker and the Death Snap, easy kill. And everybody on Liquid is so farmed. Everyone has items this game. Ags on Warlock, they just feel like they can do whatever they want because their cores are tanky enough.
They are doing whatever they want.
So they just, like 1 or 2 of the heroes can just always be hitting creeps. Normally you have to sit as 5 like all game. The margins are so thin and staying alive, but just the draft matchups as the game continues here were just so good for Team Liquid.
And the racks are going down.
Are under attack.
There's no buyback over on the side of Smashers. They are just going for the finish here over here on Liquid. Zany just dropping down the upheaval to stay in your base. You don't want to come out here. Panic fixed up now here from Mickey. It's just looking a little bit too difficult, but they'll throw up fortifications. Look at Ace, he's so slow. Mickey running, boops him on the nose, and goes right back to towers again. Doesn't want to get too overeager here. Looking again, time dilation. The jump over here onto Rasmus. They've had enough. Like we said, this Venomancer has been a thorn in their sides. So the disarm over on the side, but Taiga's just dishing out the damage over here onto Rasmus. Mickey gets the kill. And now it is Ace over on the back line. They chased after Gilgear. They'll get that kill. And there's just no mono left here over on Ace. Mickey, though, he doesn't want to stare at her beautiful face just yet. It eventually does turn to stone again, but they'll go right back to hitting the buildings. Koifa, though, he wants this. He wants this really badly. We'll end up rocking, but he went just a little bit too far. That puddle gives you some regen, but not quite enough there, friend. They're trying. They're going in again. The Sonic Wave, can they blow up Mickey is the question. It's not looking like it's going to be enough because Gilgear, he will fall. This BKB over in Stormstormer is nice, but it's not enough to protect him as this Medusa just tried to dish out as much damage as she can, but she's getting stunned up. Koifa getting into position. And look at these split shots. She's trying. She's doing everything, but Ace is just not got the damage to take it down the side of the Liquid. Stormstormer gets chased down. The GG gets called. Liquid will take this in a 2-0 sweep.
Really well played by Team Liquid. They got past the dangerous part of the game. The laning stage for Roy was dangerous. Zeno does a huge amount of damage, but they offset it with the heals and some safe play. They did die once to some rotations. Like Clump's fast Orchid was